Alright, Shadowverse soldiers, before we get into the video for today, I want to go ahead and finally announce that I'm going to be hosting Jeopardy! And Burn One is going to be the contestant. So go ahead and spread the word. It's going to be a very nice collab. It's going to be tons of fun. I created all the questions myself, and I'm looking forward to collabing with those guys over there. So make sure to let everybody know. I'm going to be posting it on all my socials and just letting everybody know. So spread the word. We're going to have lots of fun, and look out for that video when it drops. What is up, my Shadowverse soldiers, and welcome back to another Shadowverse Evolved video. So today I'm going to be doing something that's really new. I'm probably going to be doing it weekly. If it does well in views, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if I'm doing a good job. Or, we could just go ahead and cancel this project and it's not useful at all. So today we're going to be doing Market Watch Wednesdays. So every Wednesday I'm going to be looking at the ecosystem of Shadowverse and see if it's doing what cards are selling high, what are selling low, how much a box is going for, because everyone knows after they hit the SPs and the Us after boxes, they start going for a lot less. So let's go ahead and start looking at how set 3 has fermented for Shadowverse Evolved Marketplace. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the Shadowverse stuff. So looking at the Shadowverse Evolved stuff, we can already tell that boxes are going for pretty cheap. Taking the fact that you can really get a good takeaway of 800 for like a UMA case, and you could potentially hit a SP and you could probably get maybe half that back depending on what SP you pull, but that's pretty nice. But all these other boxes go for less than 50, and reason being, if you don't already know, then most people get cases and then they already pick all the SPs and Us out of the boxes, and then that's what's left over. But there might be that potential chance that you could spend that $50 and then potentially hit an SP. There's still a chance, but usually how it works is everyone just buys a case, and then the rest of the boxes, I mean, what's the point of opening them if I've already opened the leader or the SP or the U? So let's go ahead and look at the first card, and we have Alice in Wonderland. And I do remember when this card was sitting at like $20, and I hesitated on picking up mine, but honestly I wasn't rocking any of the Fable decks because Runecraft doesn't really have that many Fable followers or anything like that. But if you're rocking Beauty and the Beast or Egg Haven, I'd say go ahead and pick this up, because this is probably the lowest it's going to be right now, because going into set 4 and set 5, I believe Alice is still going to be playable because we're going to be getting new Fable followers. And then peak end, I believe she's going to sit at $50. I believe the most expensive she'll be at is $50, so go ahead and pick them up while you have them. Now the next card I do want to look at is Valiant Fencer, and I do remember that this card was like $9 like 2 weeks ago. So it seems like it's $20, $21. Most of the listings are sitting at $20, so gone are the days of Hero Sword being like a $40 deck. It seems just getting 3 Valiant Fencers is already going to put it at around, like $100 to complete the entire deck, because you need to get all the other stuff for Hero Sword, and that is a little cheap and stuff, but I believe maybe like $75. I wouldn't say $100, but $75 is probably what you'll look like, getting the entire deck and what you need, Evos and all. So go ahead and pick up your Valiant Fencers if you haven't already. That's probably why they're $20 now. But gone are the days of this being, the top end deck, top tier deck, and it's the least expensive. Another girl I wanted to look at was Dark Angel Olivia. So I remember this card being at like $40 like 2 days ago. So it's going for $34 right now, probably sitting at around, $30, $35, and we can see where like the cutoff was for like the $40 mark when I said it was 2 days ago. So if you're going to be rocking Abyss Control, this is definitely one of the cards you need. Or if you're rocking Dragons, it doesn't hurt to like shell out for at least maybe 1 or 2 Olivias, because I think this card is needed in both the Abyss Control and the Dragons. Because in Dragon in the mid game, you definitely need something to play, especially if you're going into those aggressive decks. And then they run out of steam, you have no other way to heal yourself besides Shenlong and Dracomantis Right. So Dark Olivia is definitely a good, just second hand, and you get a 5/5. So the price is definitely worth Olivia, so I would say go ahead and, if you haven't already picked them up, go ahead and get those cards. Alright, and getting back to the list here, I'm seeing that these Us are going for a pretty hefty price. It looks like Dragon is just very expensive to play, because you need Rika, and then you need the Oguri Caps, and then you need just Dragon Forte, and that's not even counting if you want to bling your deck out, which, starting at Forte is like $130. So best of luck to whoever can get these cards, or if you haven't already pulled them. So it looks like Dragons is like a little expensive, probably since after it topped in Worlds and just got first place. It seems like Dragons seems to be the most expensive deck right now. And that's just how I see it. I think Dragons is pretty expensive, because you definitely need Dragon Forte, and then you need the Evos, and it's just already expensive. But one thing I really don't understand is, why is Merlin still $16? Like, Rune should definitely be more affordable. Like, I understand Merlin is definitely the key to Runecraft, and if you guys can tell me in the comments below, like, why this card will sit at $16, because it's sat at like $16, $12, $15 for 3 sets so far. I understand she can be used in every Rune deck, but the fact that Rune isn't like it's just not that good anymore. Until we get maybe the giant Chimera that comes out next set, which in the reveals that I'll be doing, I don't think Merlin should be $16, and I'm open to agreement or disagreement on that, because like Bellringer, that's used in every day. She's $17, and the fact that Merlin's $1 less than her doesn't make any sense. So I just feel like Merlin should be a little cheaper, in my opinion, along with Agnes. Agnes is sitting at 25. I honestly didn't think I'd have to scramble to get my Agneses. I was like, okay, this card's gonna go down. It's not too expensive. No, that is not the case. It seems like the Runecraft followers and Runecraft cards are still pretty expensive. You know, the spells, alright, but... Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the top end things for Shadowverse. So, we can already tell that the cases are going to be expensive. But looking at the Uma cards, these signature cards are still going to be relatively expensive. Alice obviously creeps into there because it's Alice, and she's going to make these Fable decks playable, and then if you have the Evo for, you know, you're pretty cool. You know, your luck was up, or, you know, you got your money up for real. But, you know, looking at these leaders and all these signature cards, I believe they're like really expensive. Like the Daria leader, you know, you only get one in a case, so I can understand she's sitting at $200, but like, you know, Manhattan Cafe, like people are selling these. I remember seeing this card being sold on like the Facebook Marketplace for $70. So please, you know, expand your options if you're trying to budget and play this game. You know, there's like, if you want to bling, that's all to you, all the power to you. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. But, you know, if you're really like me and trying to budget and trying your best to play as competitive as possible, and trying to get the most out of your money, and then, you know, potentially the money could come back to you. That's how it felt for Dragon Ball when I played it. That, you know, you bling your decks out if you're really proficient with it, so why not bling it out all the way? But, you know, if you want a budget, then I don't suggest, like, unless you pull these things, I'd say flip the money and get the essential cards that you need. If you pull these things out of boxes, flip the money and get these essential cards, like bell ringers and stuff like that. Or, you know, just like I was saying about Merlin, if you're rocking Runecraft, you know, you pull a SP Agnes, flip that money and get those playsets of Merlins and those playsets of Agneses as fast as possible. All right, and I know I'm kind of jumping around crazy here, and I'm sorry, but I did not look at the Alice in Wonderland Evos, and the Alice in Wonderland Evos are sitting about like 23. So I believe you're going to be spending around like $170. I think my math is correct. Either 170 or like around $150 for just a playset of Alice's and a playset of the Evos too. So I got mine. I got my Evos. I was a literal idiot if I want to draft off into a story here. I'm sorry, guys. But I was a little idiot. I picked up the Evos and I did not pick up the regular Alice's, especially when they were at like $20. And then I waited and I was like, all right, you know, next time I get paid, I'll try and see if I can pick up my Alice's, and gone are the days of that. So I have to now shell out $90 and see if I can pick up an Alice so I could build whatever Fable deck that I want to build. I'm not sure what I want to build yet. If you guys could give me some suggestions, I would appreciate that. But as of right now, I'm stuck between Forest, or the Beauty and the Beast Forest, which doesn't have a huge hand size, and then even Egghaven, which has even less of a hand size. So like, it's not my playstyle because obviously I'm coming from D-Ship Rune, so I'm used to having at least 7 cards in my hand and having some sort of like flexibility of what I want to do in my turns. Alright, now here is the card that I believe was like, it's skyrocketed, and now that it's finally at like a normal, it's getting down to a normal price. Now I believe Mrozinski is around like a fair $10 card. I think I pulled this in when like Umo was like coming out, it was like $5. And I guess with the release of set 3 and then all the Abysscraft stuff, you know, we got that Odell Black Swan to really clear the board, and then Mrozinski to probably finish off a follower that they play next turn. Seems like Mrozinski was getting bought out crazy. So Mrozinski's on the decline right now. So if you're going to pick up your Mrozinskis, I'd say wait like another couple of days. This card will probably set it at around like $10, maybe $15. In the past, you can see that, yeah, it's going around $20. This card, like, I believe at the beginning of either last week or this week, this card was $40. And I was like, oh, that's absolutely insane. I'm glad I have mine. But, you know, if I'm going to hook somebody up or sell the card, I'm probably going to give them probably like 50%, because it's just absolutely ludicrous. But if the card's a meta, then, you know, the card's a meta. But I don't believe this card to be like a $40 card. It's absolutely insane. All right, guys, before we sign off here, I want to talk about the Erd. So Erd is definitely a card that's just going to be used. Like, if you don't have any sort of removal in your deck, she's pretty nice. But with the income of these Fable decks and these cards being put into the EX area, Erd is definitely going to go up in price. And the fact that we're going to get these Bushiroad Springfest results and people are going to be rocking Erd in their deck, yeah, go ahead and pick up your Erds right now. If you don't have them right now, pick them up, because this card is definitely going to probably shoot up to like $5–7, because it was like $4 when I went to my local GS and was trying to pick some up, and I'm like, why is this card so good? But now seeing how Fable is like wrapped around their EX area, this card is just going to be so good. Like, you can go ahead, you see them setting up for that Beauty and the Beast, and then you crack Erd and their whole play line is just destroyed. Or potentially, you know, you're going up against Haven and you see them put the Pinion Prince in EX area, and you're like, all right, well, I'm not going to let you recur after you Humpty Dumpty, so I'm going to banish your Pinion Prince, and I'm just going to let you top deck for the rest of the game. So go ahead and pick up your Erds if you haven't already. I highly doubt this card's going to be on buyout, because there's just so many of her. But go ahead and pick them up now. I believe this could be like a $7 card just for one. That is just my opinion. I am no sorts of treasurer for TCG Player or Shadowverse Evolve. I am just one singular person. So, alright guys, well that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. You don't know how much it means. Hopefully in the next episode of, you know, the Market Watch Wednesday, we can see a more like growth or maybe a decrease in cards. And, you know, in a week's time, you know, it takes a day for a card to change in price. Like, I just wake up the next morning and I'm like, oh, this card is this expensive. That's insanely ludicrous. I'm not picking this up. But, you know, just in a moment's time, things can change. So hopefully by next Wednesday, we can probably see like maybe a growth or a change in things, because Bushiroad Fest is this weekend, and probably by this next weekend, after we see a good influx of what decks are doing good and what cards are being picked up, everyone are going to buy those cards probably after this weekend. All right, guys, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
I gave you all my love, baby, my heart is cold when you're around. You warm it up, liquid gold, baby, yeah, you warm it up, liquid gold, baby, and my affection, all that paper you wasted. Take my love.